am a registered colonic hydrotherapist, a member with ARCH, as well as the CNHC. I currently operate from the United Kingdom and my clinic is based in London, central London at the current moment. The purpose of my video today is to provide some information on colonic hydrotherapy and also what to expect when you come in for a treatment. What I seem to find in today's world, and even being a woman myself, is that we are so focused on the external version of us. How do I look? How do my clothes look? Am I wearing the right makeup? Am I putting enough injections in my face, Botox, filler, or surgery? Or is my hair okay? Although mine is not because of COVID. I haven't been to hairdresser in half a year. But we are so focused on the external, and I find that we have very little knowledge about what's actually going on inside our factory, inside our vehicle, is what I'd like to term the body. What is happening under the hood? And realistically, most of us don't know. So what does come as a surprise is that more often than not, people who look good externally are not often the ones that are the healthiest on the inside. Our necessity to survive is water. The biggest thing that we are actually doing is depleting ourselves of our fundamental need through consumption of very oily foods, processed foods, non-fibrous foods, caffeine, drugs, alcohol. So our body goes through the process of sleeping and uses water as a method to detox whatever that is in your body that is making your body sick. If it doesn't have sufficient water, you will start to experience symptoms of fatigue, bloating, inflammation, cramping, pain, headaches, dry skin, eczema, psoriasis, rashes, itchiness, acne breakout, and so on. But I think that is enough to let you know that that's saying your body is telling you it's not okay. I've come to the conclusion that if your skin is expressing itself, that is the last place in your body that your body is trying to communicate with you that it needs help. The body is a very complex organism. So I believe one powerful, profound way to achieve healing is colonic hydrotherapy. So what is colonic hydrotherapy? Colonic hydrotherapy, also known as colonic irrigation, is the process of inserting a tube through the rectal cavity or the anus and inserting water that's at a warm temperature 24/7 through an inlet pipe, which is a small tube attached to an apparatus that is attached to a large tube that will receive all your waste product, undigested food, any waste matter, parasites, whatever that may come up from your body depending on your circumstance or situation. So the goal is that we clean out the intestine, retrain the colon to go back to its optimal function, that you can live an optimized lifestyle that's healthy and happy and full of energy. The treatment lasts for approximately 1 hour to 1.5 hours, depending if you need extra time or if you would like to add on additional complementary therapies such as an enema. Colonic hydrotherapy, as it says in the name, deals with the colon. That is the large intestine. So with success, the colonic hydrotherapy session will be able to go throughout the whole large intestine and clean out the whole intestine. Whereas with an enema, it only goes so far as the sigmoid to the first flexure, the sigmoid flexure, because an enema cannot go so deep rooted. But if you do that in conjunction with the colonic, we can actually push the water to go quite far and be healing. The difference between an enema and colonic hydrotherapy is that colonic is using water to flush out the colon or the intestine, whereas an enema is introducing herbs that are nutritional and can be absorbed through the lining of the intestine to obviously induce a specific reaction, whether that be a detox, whether that be hormonal balance, whether that might be a liver cleanse, whether that might be a parasite cleanse, whether that might be for cramping or for constipation, or to help create a laxative-like effect to help you release if you've been blocked, cramped, or bloated, or full of gas. There are certain contraindications that would prohibit people from coming for a treatment, but that you can see on my website, or if you'd like to have a consultation with me beforehand, seeing if you are a candidate for colonic hydrotherapy. Most people, I think, have an amazing imagination, but the reality of a colonic is not actually as scary or as overwhelming as it may seem. The apparatus that gets inserted into the rectum is that big. I'm going to demonstrate now the apparatus that is used during a colonic. This is called a kit. It is a single-use disposable kit, one per client. It is never reused on another person due to hygiene and safety laws that we follow, which are very strict. Health and safety is always number one. What you will see here is 3 different items. You have 2 different types of tubes. You have a large tube called the outlet tube. So this is where all your waste product will be released from. And this is called an inlet tube, so a smaller tube where the water will be coming through from the tank. The tank will release water that's high quality and double filtered, so you're receiving very nutritional healing water compared to just doing normal tap water, which are full of chemicals and fluoride and heavy metals that are not very optimum for health or nutrition. The analogy I like to use, or the story I like to make people aware of: think about everything you have ever done in a toilet. Number 1, number 2, vomited, late nights, perhaps women with menstruation, babies, being ill or sick of food poisoning, throwing tablets or any strange item down the toilet. Now think about what process the government has to put that water through in order to make that water drinkable again. So not only is there a lot of toxic things in the water, but then adding additional chemicals and fluorides and also waste products or byproducts that are made from factories that need to be rid of, like fluoride, that gets put in the water. That is what people are consuming. So I highly recommend to avoid drinking tap water or specific types of bottled water, just depending where they're from, and ideally get a nice proper filter that you can invest in that will bring health and wealth to your body, because water is your number 1 fundamental. Although this apparatus looks big, it is called a speculum. It consists of 3 parts. It has a loose piece here, which is called an obturator, which basically gives a rounded tip, so that can make the insertion into the rectum a lot easier. But actually only this part at its maximum gets inserted into the rectum. which is highly lubricated. We will then remove the obturator out, and the large tubing or the outlet tube will get attached onto here, and the inlet tubing will be attached into this item on top here. So with one item inserted into your cavity, you will have two tubes attached to it. So one with water constantly flowing in and one with water constantly flowing out. Okay, so let's get down to what happens on the day of a colonic. You don't know what to expect and you walk into the room. What happens next? Firstly, I'm going to greet you and we're going to just discuss and work through your medical consultation form and discuss sort of your priorities, your goals, where you're at and what you want to achieve, and also why you are here for an appointment. Because I have an extensive background of knowledge in different modalities, therapies, and nutrition and information, I can best guide you with advice for supplementation, items to cut out your diet, items to introduce to your diet, and also with new behaviors and patterns and habits that I can help you create. I also work in partnership with a laboratory that does blood tests, so we can check your allergies, food and environmental, as well as your intolerances. And if you need to do basic health checks, so such as vitamins, minerals, your cholesterol, how your liver, different aspects of your liver are managing and doing, we can also do that together. I always highly recommend it, especially if it's your first time coming to Colonic, because this is the starting step to investing in your health and journey and getting more informed about your health. After we complete consultation, then it will be time to get appropriately dressed for treatment. That means you will go to the bathroom, you will go to the toilet, whether it's number 1 or 2. It's always best to try and use the toilet because water can be absorbed throughout the treatment and you may need to stop because you need to urinate. So it's always best to try even if you don't feel like it. You will then take off your bottom half, including underwear. Socks you can keep on, shoes will be off. You'll take a towel or a gown and you'll wrap it around you, and then you'll come to the therapy table. When you get to the therapy table, the first thing you're going to need to do is lay on your back with your knees bent. I will perform a tummy exam. I'm going to feel all different aspects of your tummy to feel for bloating, inflammation, gas, pain, to see where it hurts. It's also for me to understand your anatomy and diaphragm because we are all different. When that is complete, I will then get you onto your side into fetus position or fetal position. I will lift the towel and I'll lubricate a finger because I need to do a rectal exam. So I'll check if you might have hemorrhoids, potential bleeding, any passages that are blocked. That may contraindicate you from performing a treatment. But for me, it's the most important thing is it's about lubricating the area prior to insertion of the speculum. Once I complete the rectal exam, I will then insert the speculum while you are still on your side. Then I will stop the water and keep you on your side for a few minutes just so that you acclimatize to the treatment, how it feels with the sensation of water running through you. And then I will get you onto your back. Getting onto your back just means going from the side, putting your feet on the table, lifting your bum off the table and then scooting and then sitting down. During this, I will be holding the tube the whole time so it doesn't slip out, as most people fear and worry about. Then throughout the exam or the treatment, I will be running water in and out. I will apply multiple approaches, either through abdominal massage, or I will use water building up techniques to try and fill you up and try and get as much as possible. I might even change water temperature. It varies and depends. I'll even work on different meridians on the body through the use of Chinese medicine to help stimulate a release as well. I may add on an enema that may assist in the process too, that will help you achieve maximum benefit. When the procedure nears its end, you're going to get back into the fetal position on your side. We will stay there for a couple of minutes, switch off the water, and whatever residue water that remains in your stomach or your large intestine will then be released. When you finish the treatment, you can take your time. The most important during this is the stool. There are many different versions of toilet stools you can get, or potty training stools you can get. But it's really, really important that everyone has one because of the angle that it produces or shapes your body into doing, which opens up the colon's canal so that poo or stool can just basically pass through without being suffocated or asphyxiated. This is a traditional understanding, and yet in Western cultures and society we seem to think that a 90-degree angle is ideal. Most toilets are now made for aesthetic purposes compared to actual practical purposes. So what can colonic hydrotherapy do to help? I find in today's world, all I keep hearing is, I'm tired, I need more energy, I just can't seem to manage with what I'm doing. Where can I find more time in the day? And what is coming across significantly to me is that people are just doing too much. And what is taking the toll is your body. Your body is not able to keep up, to push and compete with the technological advancements that we're going through at the moment. And sometimes the biggest thing that you can do to yourself is actually just reward yourself with 1 hour a day, 1 hour a week even, just to take a time out for yourself. The question is, how do you want to give back? How do you want to give back to yourself? The primary thing that colonic hydrotherapy can do for you is remove toxic waste in the stomach. Did you know that people can store up to 10 kilograms of excess product or excess waste in their stomach at one given time? That is a lot. And what people don't realize is that we can have little excess fecal matter or particles lurking around the large intestine that just happen to be dehydrated or stuck for whatever reason. And those can rot, release little signals of toxic waste fermenting. And this is what we call toxemia. It's just rotting and wasting. And that's why people experience distended stomachs, bloating, inflammation. And to answer what question I get asked frequently is no. A colonic hydrotherapy does something that you cannot do naturally. Not going to the toilet frequently, not drinking certain products, not detoxing certain things. A colonic surpasses everything. It's fantastic to use in combination with other things, such as a detox weekend, such as taking certain tablets or supplements, but that should be catered and customized for your treatment plan, which you should discuss with a therapist who is a registered colonic hydrotherapist and knows what they're doing. How fecal matter moves in the large intestine, so from going from mastication, chewing, to releasing, is through the large intestine, an action called peristalsis, and it's like this. the large intestine does like this to move the matter out. The problem is due to inflammation, irritation, eating foods you are allergic to or intolerant to, being over-caffeinated, doing drugs, alcohol, whatever your sin may be, that's going to cause the irritation in the large intestine and the peristalsis stops to work. That causes basically a bottleneck in the system. So all of that fecal matter or waste product gets stuck, can't move, and then that dehydrates and then gets properly stuck. And this is where people start to experience pain, cramping, bloating, inflammation, and as I said, it starts to rot and release fermentation. Unknown to people, the large intestine, interestingly, is not just a sausage that like you see in the shops if you're thinking of a barbecue. The large intestine actually has pockets, and in these pockets, so if you have the large intestine, you have these little pockets, and these pockets can actually get little fecal matter trapped inside over the years or months. And that means that you can have stool passing through every day, but those particle matters do stay. Many people don't know, but poo or stool is not consecutive. It's not that you eat one and then one passes, you eat one and one passes and then it just goes in a circle. No. You can eat something and that could be stuck in your intestine or your large intestine for days, months, years, and still pass something that you ate the day after. So there's many reasons for why people come to colonic hydrotherapy or alternative therapies. Unfortunately, most people come when it's at their worst point, and usually the symptoms have become so bad that they are not actually able to manage a day-to-day life anymore because they are hurting, they're in pain, they can't do normal day-to-day activities, and this is quite serious. I would like to reframe how people are thinking about their health, that they shouldn't come when they are at their worst or virtually almost dying. We should reframe about doing maintenance, just checking in, just turning up, just seeing if everything's okay, rather than coming when symptoms are at their worst. And with my philosophy and ethics, I like to do work where we find the root cause and we treat it. A lot of people are experiencing problems with their stomach because of what they're putting in. Just like a vehicle that we are, the fuel or petrol is food or drink. Colonic hydrotherapy will completely reset your body, but if you're going to reinsert the wrong foods or drinks, then that's just going to exacerbate your condition again, and it will be as if you've done colonic hydrotherapy for nothing. In my philosophy, I want to create an educated person who's informed about their health and they know how to make the right decisions. Because with me, I'm only with you for 1 hour irregularly throughout your life. You spend the rest of the day with yourself every day, 365 days a year. I'm here to create informed people, not necessarily clients. Squatting is the optimum position for people to release without blockages. And that is why, according to Western society, people do suffer from a lot more stomach issues or colon issues because they don't feel empty on the toilet. They haven't completely released. And this causes pollutants, rotting stuff, staying in the body for much longer than its purpose and needs intended to be. And that is why people are experiencing a lot more frequently diseases in Western society, because fecal matter is getting trapped, it's fermenting, it's polluting, and it's causing toxemia in the body. Thank you for listening, and if you would like to book a treatment with me, I'd be happy to assist you on your health journey. you.